This is Captain Ross with 3B's Captain School. In this video, we're going to cover navigation rules of the road, rules 29 through 31. Objectives for rules 29 through 31. We want to state what lights are displayed on a vessel engaged in pilotage duty. State what additional lights are displayed on a vessel engaged on pilotage duty when underway, making way. State what additional lights are displayed on a vessel engaged on pilotage duty when at anchor. State what lights shape are displayed on a vessel at anchor. State what vessels at anchor shall illuminate their decks. State what length vessel at anchor in a special anchorage area in inland waters is not required to display anchor light shapes. State what light shapes a vessel aground displays. State what length vessel when at anchor is not required to display anchor lights and shapes. State what length vessel when aground is not required to display anchor aground light shapes. State where a seaplane shall exhibit lights and shapes when it is impractical to display them as required. All right, pilot boats. A vessel engaged in pilotage duty shall exhibit at or near the masthead two all-round lights in a vertical line, the upper white and the lower red. So if you look right here, you can see an all-around white light on this image to the left, and then just below that an all-around red light. This pilot boat right here is underway. I can tell because it has the running lights, the red port running light and the green starboard running light and the stern light. So no masthead light when they're on pilotage duty, just this all-around white over the all-around red. When they're at anchor, they're going to display an all-around white light, the anchor light, and then white over red also. And then during the day, the anchor shape will be displayed, which is a ball. All right, so all vessels at anchor. Less than 50 meters, all around white light where it can best be seen, or a ball, one ball day shape. If they're over 50 meters at anchor, they're going to have a day shape of a ball, or have at night sunset to sunrise when lights are required. In the forepart of the ship or vessel, an all-around white light, and then at or near the stern at a lower level than the bow or the forepart, another all-around white light, which you can see on this vessel's back here on the stern. And then if the vessel is over 100 meters, they shall illuminate their decks with their deck lights. On this vessel in the left image here, it's under 50 meters, but they can illuminate their decks if they'd like. So 100 meters and greater, you have to illuminate the decks. Less than 100 meters, you do not have to illuminate the decks, but you can. Vessels at anchor continued. So a vessel less than 7 meters, which is about 23 feet, at anchor and not in a narrow channel fairway or where other vessels normally navigate is not required to display anchor lights. This is kind of hard to see, but this little pontoon boat here is anchored. You can see the line right there. So that's international or inland. 7 meters, less than 7 meters, they don't have to put on their anchor light or a day shape as long as they're not in a channel, narrow channel fairway or areas where other vessels normally navigate. And then inland waters only. A vessel less than 20 meters, which is about 65.6 feet, at anchor in a special anchorage is not required to display anchor lights. And a special anchorage is designated special anchorage. So it'll be on the chart, located in the coastal pilot, but you need to be in a designated inland special anchorage. And then if you're less than 20 meters, you don't have to display the anchor light or shapes. All right, continue on. Vessels aground. So a vessel aground shall exhibit anchor lights and 2 all-round red lights in a vertical line or 3 balls in a vertical line. It's not required for vessels less than 12 meters, that's inland and international, to display these all-around red lights in a vertical line. But anybody you may display those lights, and anybody greater than 12 meters must display those lights. So how do you tell the difference? The next picture there on the right-hand side of your screen, vessel less than 50 meters aground. You see that 3-ball day shape's the same. They just have one anchor light because they're less than 50 meters. And they have the red over red. So how do you tell the difference between a nuke or not under command, which also displays red over red, and a vessel aground? So if you remember from the lights required for a vessel not under command, they have red over red, which we use a little memory tool, red over red, pilot's dead, except they don't have any kind of masthead light or anchor light. So in this situation, you would see red over red and then an anchor light, which would indicate that that vessel is aground. So I won't go into it in this video, but read through your Coast Guard Navigation Rules of the Road Handbook, because Rule 30 also covers lighting requirements for barges. It gets a little bit in depth, but it basically covers some lighting requirements for barges that potentially stick out into the middle of a channel or an area where vessels transit. Finally, Rule 31 covers seaplanes, and it basically just says that if it's impractical for a seaplane or a WIG, which is wing and ground aircraft, to exhibit lights and shapes prescribed in the rules that we just covered, she shall exhibit lights, shapes as closely similar in characteristics as possible. So if they can't show the lights or shapes exactly, they need to get as close as they possibly can. This concludes this video on Navigation Rules of the Road, Rules 29 through 31. Please check our YouTube channel for all of our other videos.